What's up, guys? How is everyone's Friday? We got Black 187 in here. He says, "Finally a new live. Sorry to let you down, man. I mean, I did last Friday's live and then Sunday and then but I'm not going to do one this Mother's Day. I'm going to say that again when there's some more people in here. What's up, Niles, Jacob? We got Titus. We got all the homies back in here. I decided to surprise you guys. I was going to do this at 11:10, but I did this at 11:06. Jake, what's up, Jake? What's up, Noah? How is everybody? That was cool. It was cool. There's like me just talking to one person, and then and then boom, everyone popped in here. You know, on the stream, random question, but my what I see on my is this sign upside down to you guys or backwards? Is it backwards or like is that normal? Because when I look at it, it looks backwards. I need to fix it. It's not backwards to you guys. Okay, whatever. I'm tripping. Like I'm looking at it, I'm like, that doesn't look right, but whatever. Um that's funny. Sophie, Kennedy, Niall just got the new We the People Crisis. Bro, where did you find that in stock? I've been talking to so many different people and eh, almost any bike is impossible to find right now. It's crazy. I've been looking for parts. So like I have a cart on Source with like one tire and some grips and then maybe some ankle guards, but it's like $100 and I'm like, do I really need all that? Probably not, but then again, maybe I do. It's just like but I wanted to get like the what is it? The Odyssey cranks, not the ones the 48 spline ones. What are they called? Caliber. But I can't find those in stock. I can't find a frame in stock. It's like it's impossible. Jake, how are the tail whips and the bar spins going? Jake's in bike school, guys, and Jake has been putting in work trying to get those bars and get those whips. Jake, I was honestly surprised how close you were to whips, but you just gotta, dude, you gotta get it under you, and that's the hardest part because when you do that, that's when you start to go dead sailor. Um, I just saw Fabianski in here. What's up? Okay, so let's go through. Let's give our first five people their little moderator. We got to give it to BLVCK 187187. Niles, what's up, Niles? Number two. Jacob is number three. Titus and Jake. All right. Dope, dope. I appreciate you guys. Thanks for coming to hang out with me on this lovely Friday. Bro, it yesterday and today, it is like super hot here. I don't know what's going on. Um, but it's not normally this hot, and then all of a sudden it's ridiculous. Crazy story. You guys want to hear a crazy story? So for this episode, it's gonna be 10 that's coming out this Tuesday with Barrick. We've already filmed it. And we just talked about a whole bunch of different things. But for episode 11, we're going to film it today. It's going to go out not this coming Tuesday, but the following Tuesday. We said, okay, let's talk about DC Shoes dropping the BMX program. And Barrick wanted to talk about just topics like that. So it's a little easier for us to stay on track and it's a little bit better overall. So we said, okay, let's do that. I said, but if we're going to do that, we need to reach out to pros who are sponsored by DC and just kind of get some input from them. I was just curious, what it was like, blah, blah, blah. Barrick got a reply from Edwin De La Rosa, Chris Doyle, Dylan Stark, Anthony Napolitan. God, who else? There's like a small handful of guys that Barrick reached out to that replied to us. So this next podcast, not this Tuesday, but the Tuesday after that is going to be crazy good. But we yesterday we actually we zoomed with Chris Doyle for like 40 minutes. It was the coolest thing ever. He's such a nice, humble guy. And it was just so fun to chit chat with him. So Barrick definitely gets a raise, and you guys are gonna love the direction that the podcast is going. Dude, it was so crazy. We were both all nervous, and we're like, oh, Chris Doyle. But yeah, so on that note, what did you guys think about the last episode? The first one we had with Barrick in the parking garage. Did you guys like it? We went on for a long time, but I feel like it was really good, like conversation stuff. And so, yeah, let me know what you think because I'm curious. We're trying to still figure out the perfect direction to take it, and I really like your guys's input. So let me know. Also, hey, what's up, Frank? I just saw Frank in here. Rado, we got Rado on the live. That's funny. Rado, we miss you. We haven't seen you in a hot minute. What I was gonna say was, okay, hold on. Someone was just in here. Hold on. I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh well, it was gonna be important. And I think it had something to do with what somebody said in the chat. That's why I'm trying to look real quick. Oh yeah, yeah, that's what it was. Black, right? Who broke their ankle? Yeah, yeah, Black snapped his ankle. Oh my god, dude. How is that going? I remember you commented that on one of the videos a while ago. You said 6 to 12 weeks. Is that what it was for recovery? Ankles are never fun. I luckily, knock on wood, I've only broken like this finger right here, and that's it. I mean, aside from my teeth and stuff, but like luckily I've never had a real serious break that required like physical therapy and stuff afterwards. So dude, that's tough. But look, here's the thing. Again, like talking with different pros about the DC thing, a lot of them they go through just so many different injuries, and it's such a common thing that you have to really, really love the sport to actually stick around and keep riding. Some people get hurt and then they just, they decide, you know what, maybe maybe bike riding's not for me. But then some people get hurt and they literally get right back on and pick up right where they left off. And so I mean, you have to decide, right? Is it important enough to you to keep going and risk that injury? Or is it like, okay, it was fun until I got messed up and now it's not so fun anymore? But okay, here, I'm gonna go on another little tangent on that, just because for this thing I was reading, it talked about how action sport athletes, us, right? Skateboard, snowboard, everything like that, rest is built in naturally. So for most say non-action sport athletes, right? They work rest in a big amount. So like let's say Olympic swimmers, okay? They have a good amount of off days to rest and to recover. Whereas in our sport, we genuinely love it so much that we're like out there every single day riding and we are not taking the rest time that we need. So it's built in with injuries. Okay, we get hurt, and that rest time is forced upon us, or weather. So when it snows, when it rains, things like that, we're kind of forced into a rest day, and it's actually a good thing. It's not good that you broke your ankle, but it is good that you're going to get to recover. And if you get back on it, you're going to come back stronger from it, man. But in the meantime, I guess you'll just have to hang out on the channel. Dude, I hope as soon as you get better, you take a good amount of time seriously working on strengthening your ankle. Because if you don't, if you skip that part and you just get back on the bike, your ankle is going to be weaker and it can happen a lot easier. So be serious about getting that strength back when you're done. But feel better, man. Feel better. Titus says, "What are some good grips?" So these are the grips I was actually about to buy, Titus. They're in my cart on Source right now. The oh my god, I can't even think of it. S&M Hoder. Those, like anytime anybody asks me that, I say the Hoder grips are the best. I used to be a huge ODI fan, then I was a huge Colt Vans fan, and now I'm a huge S&M Hoder. Barrett gave me a pair a long time ago, and I've like never switched away from it. They're comfortable, they last, they're just 10 out of 10. Good grips, S&M Hoder grips all the way. The Colt Vans are good for grip in a sense, but they're kind of uncomfortable. So, and I don't like ODI anymore. I don't know why, but look, everyone's saying the ODI super soft though. I haven't rode ODI in so long. Like I've been on the Hoders forever now. And I was actually Was it Odyssey? Rayford grips, is that what they were? I feel like that's what they were, and I've ridden those before, and they're pretty good, but the thing with those is that they wear out so fast, so I was like, the Hoder grips last a lot longer, they're a little more comfortable, that's definitely what I go with. Jacob says, "Do you ride any dirt trails?" Jacob, I absolutely love dirt, even though I'm not very good at it. It was a really hard thing for me to actually figure out how to control pop on the dirt. So I went like my whole life never riding dirt or really having dirt. And then at Woodward, the last 2 years, well, not 2020, but 2018 and 2019, we had the trails and you just get in the group session at the trails and it was a killer time. I was able to piece together figuring out how to jump the dirt jumps and to control your speed without like brakes and things like that. And so anytime I see them now, um, I'll ride them. But I don't ride huge jumps like Nick does. So Nick right now, the my partner with bike school, he's in the East Coast. They're doing a contest, so he's riding with like Nikolai and Reed and all these crazy guys. And he just posted a video. They had this huge kicker to an airbag, and he did the biggest flip Superman, and then a double flip and things like that. And they're just big dirt jumps, aside from the airbag, obviously. But I would not touch those. I feel like I'm too big and my bike's too small. I'd just die. Thomas says, "What up? What's up, Thomas? Thanks for coming to hang out with us on this live." Jake said, "Barrick is a G. I loved him. I want to be friends." Niles says, "Thoughts on lock on ODI long neck grips? Might get them because I can't live with a rev grip." Okay, Niles, this opens me up for a little rant. I to me, I've never ridden lock-on grips. I feel like they're kind of overpriced and they're not really necessary. And what I mean by that is you can get your grips put on without having throttle grip or rev grip, I guess as you called it. Just dude, do zip ties, okay? That's one way. I made a TikTok about it, but you get zip ties, you push them through the grips, okay? And then in between the grip and the bar, you slide the zip ties or you slide the grips over, right? So then it goes bar, zip tie, and then the grip. And the zip ties go around like this. It's really hard to explain without like a visual. But anyway, the zip ties with the plastic surface allow you to slide the grip over the bar. Okay. And then you can just use pliers and pull out the zip ties, and then they're on. No throttle grip. It's super easy to do. You just need some zip ties. And then the other thing, hairspray is half decent, but if you like ride it within a few, I don't know, I'd say a few hours, it's still kind of wet. And then air compressors, obviously the best way, but not many people have an air compressor. But the moral of the story is I don't think you need lock on grips. I think they're really expensive and also not very comfortable. Um, but then again, that's a little ignorant because I've never actually ridden them. So I don't know. I don't know. I say no. I say no, actually. JDA says, "Was a cool podcast for sure." Thanks, man. I'm glad you liked it. I loved seeing your comments on there. It's like the whole point of it, right? Whether anyone agrees with us or disagrees with us, what I want it to do is to spark conversation, right? So like the thing about judging Olympics, right? It's like a lot of people don't agree with that, but it brings out a conversation. That's what's fun about it, and that's what's progressive about it. Is like, okay, well, obviously, I think it was you. I don't remember who it was, but they're like, well, have you seen, say, figure skating, right, snowboarding, anything like that? And that's a really good point. But they're still judged on freestyle in a sense, and it's really hard to say because I think opinions play a huge role in that. Is like my opinion is that say Daniel Sandoval did better than Chase Hawk, but somebody else's opinion is that Chase Hawk did better. So that just makes it so hard. But it's interesting. Like I'm excited for it nonetheless, and it's fun to have these discussions. That's why it's called Dougsterbob discussions. So there's a lot of I think on the one that's going to come out Tuesday, we said a few things that were like could be controversial, and it's like what I told Barrick is that it's okay because if if it brings up discussion, like that's what we want from it. So it's a lot of fun. I think it's going in a good direction for sure. Jake says, I love that podcast with Barrick. Also, I liked how it seemed more mature and with the funny stories going off topic. I like that. Yeah, Jake, God, we were all over the place. But yeah, we tried to keep it, PG-13, which is a little more higher rated than like my lives and everything on my channel, which that's how Barrick and I talk. Like normally after we ride, we stand by our cars for literally an hour and we just talk about whatever's going on in BMX and life and everything like that. And it's so much fun. And I was like, dude, let's just do this, take it to a podcast, and then you guys can listen to what we think and what we have to say. Um, it's a lot of fun, and I hope you guys don't mind the slight profanity in the podcast. But yeah, yeah, it was natural too, Jake. I know what you mean. Joseph says in Austria, there is super rainy weather. By the way, I tried your 3 BMX recommendations and it was amazing. I thought that it would like tell me 3 bikes, but there was a lot more added. Yeah, dude, I make them so that it gives out a lot of good information. Like, yeah, I could recommend bikes to you, but it's also important to understand how the sizing works. And it's also important to understand why this bike is good, if it's overpriced, where you can get it from, like all that other stuff. And I think it really makes a good experience. I get so many emails is like, dude, thank you. This is a bike I was looking at, or I never thought of this one, but I really like it, blah, blah, blah. And dude, it's good. It's good. I'm so glad to help. That's my whole mission here. Crazy. You guys, let's see. Dang. I paid a guy to do new channel intro and outro, and they're half decent. So on the not the next video I'm gonna post because I have a lot scheduled already. But from here on out, on the videos I make, they're gonna have the new intro and outro, and I think you guys will like it. It's funny if you guys follow me, like not Dougsterbob Instagram, but BMX Douglas Laird Instagram. I put a video on my story of the picture I used to tell the guy to make that cartoon of me, and like I feel like I look good in that picture, right? I just look, professional and stern and everything like that. Okay, and then he sent me the intro, and bro, he gave me like the biggest mustache. It's just like it's just like essentially bald face, right, with a little bit of beard, and then just like boom, fat mustache. And it's like he's trying to draw me as Pablo instead of Douglas. It's the funniest thing ever. Uh, so I put that on my Instagram. And anyway, he made some revisions. I think it looks a little bit better now. And I just went ahead and paid him. And so that's what I'm going to be using from here on out. I just thought that'd be a funny story to share with you guys. The mustache, man, I'm tripping. Well, and I feel like I don't have a mustache because it kinda goes together with everything, but then it does kinda stick out. But I feel like it'd be weird if I just shaved the mustache, you know what I mean? I don't know. I just try not to think about it. You wear a mask 90% of the time, no one knows anyway. Okay, I got skipped to the bottom, but, hold on, hold on. Jake says, I've been working my ass off on the bike, though it takes me so long to learn tricks when it takes others way shorter time to progress. I'm jealous. Jake, you have to look at it almost a different way. Um, so for me, like, I bet a lot of you guys don't know this. I started riding probably when I was 13, and I'd say 14 to 15. Essentially, it took me a solid year of trying whips before I actually landed them. Like I would go to the park, I would try whips constantly. Whip, 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 nothing. Okay. I'd try bars constantly and I'd throw, I'd catch with one hand, I wouldn't land it. And it literally took me about a year, which is a lot longer of a time than a lot of people that were riding when I was trying that. Okay. And they ultimately were a lot better than me. I was definitely jealous. And but here's the thing, okay? Here's the thing. Despite that, here we are 10, 11 years later. They're off doing whatever, right? They're not even relevant in BMX. They're not even riding their bike. They're not like, so it essentially doesn't matter. But I've got all these tricks that I've dreamed about. Okay. And the difference there is, yeah, some people are going to progress a lot faster than you, but what's the long game, right? Chances are, Jake, they're not going to be around in 5 years. They're going to be off, doing wheelies in their SV bike. They're going to be doing donuts in their car. They're going to be, they're going to be a dad. They're going to have 15 kids. Like chances are those kids that are better than you right now aren't even going to be around. So there's no sense in stressing about it, because the only thing that you need to be better than is yourself yesterday. When you go to the park today, you need to be better than Jake the day before, and that's all that matters, right? Because in 10 years you can look back and say, wow, look how much better I am than I was 10 years ago. And genuinely, that's what's really important. Because if you look at it in that aspect, you're not going to be brought down by everything else around you that's kind of affecting how you feel about your riding and so on and so forth. Like I can share that story, man, and tell you guys it's tough, but look, persistence always wins the long term. So if you quit riding, then essentially all that was for nothing. And if you stick with it, the chances of you actually getting better and learning these tricks that you're envious of right now are so much higher because you actually stuck it out. Does that make sense? I feel like that was a pretty good rant. But yeah, for real, guys, the persistence in this sport is the only thing that really sticks around. I was looking through some of my old Ride BMX magazines to see about a thing Doyle was talking about on the Zoom, and I found, a lot of guys that in 2011 were like gods, right? But they're not doing anything right now. They've failed to stay relevant in the sport. Like, but then Doyle, that was essentially a really good time for him. He's still relevant right now. And the reason for that is just sticking at it, keep riding, keep making connections, keep getting better. So, yeah, just work on that, man. Work instead of working on the tricks, Jake, work on yourself and try and be better than you were yesterday. JDA, don't cry, man. We are here, and this is a happy time, so no crying. All right. What's up, Grammy? I saw you. You were in the last one. Um, Hold on. Jake said something. Oh, broke his ankle, and you got to get the strength back. Amen. Okay. Grammy says, would you say the Sunday Scout is better than the Sunday Primer, even though they're both high tensile steel? Um, I can't remember how it goes, but I'm pretty sure the Primer's better. Um, Hold on. The main difference there, oh my god, I can't type to save my life. But the main difference is that one of them, whichever one's the more expensive one. Okay, yeah, the Scout is the better one. And even though they're both high tensile steel, the difference is the amount of aftermarket parts that come on them. The Scout's going to have just a little bit better quality of aftermarket parts, and it's just going to be a tiny bit better. But when you look at core components, right, the frame, the wheels, bars, forks, everything like that, they're essentially the same, just because high tensile steel is high tensile steel. Um, yeah, if you're going to spend 400 on the Scout, just try to find a kink whip for $50 more and you're getting full chromoly. $50 more, kink whip, if you can find it. They're very hard to find right now. So Niles says, how do I double peg? First, Niles, you got to ask yourself, can you bunny hop? That's going to be very important. You need to bunny hop to double peg. And the other thing is, like, I'd say, so if you're trying to grind a 1 foot tall ledge, I would say you should be able to hop on that ledge. Not because your pegs need to go that high, but because you need to hop a little higher than what you're trying to grind, so that you have time in the air to kind of adjust and tweak it and make sure that you get on right. So make sure you can hop up on the thing you want to grind and then ride at it slightly at an angle. Okay. You don't want to ride right next to it and hop to the side, because side hops are a little hard and your balance isn't going to be there. You want to just a slight angle so that when you hop into it, your front peg catches and your back peg swings on. So it's like catch, swing, and then you're on it. And then you need to kind of compress your body once you're in the double peg so that you can uncompress to pop out. And that's really it. But that's another one, dude. Practice, practice. But like I always tell you guys, bunny hops are the most important thing you can learn. Practice those bunny hops because that's really going to give you the control you need to grind and to spin and to do literally anything. So practice the bunny hops, and then double pegs will be very easy for you. One secret tip on that is it's a lot easier if you grind on the side of your front foot. So if I'm right foot forward, you want to grind on your right. If you're left foot forward, you want to grind on your left. This makes life really easy because you can hop on, put your pedal down, and it using your pedal there on the ledge, it gives you another form of balance. And if you ride plastic pedals, it's going to slide, and like life is so much easier that way. What's up, Chase? Chase did take me to some trails. I see that. Jake used to ride Ethic scooter grips, and they feel the best, but they break too fast. Dude, I bought Ethic grips too in the UK, and they were amazing. They're really thick, which I liked because I don't know, it just felt more comfortable. But they didn't last very long. That is a very good point. Rado says, Doug, do you know anything about mountain bike? I would like the Carrera Vulcan 2020. I have no idea, Rado. I wish I could help, but that bike's a little too big for my knowledge, man. Noah says, why don't you review Haro? I see people always riding Haro bikes in my area. Um, I don't know. I don't know. I think my thought with it initially is to stay away from like SE, Haro, Mongoose, anything like that that's kind of an outlier and not like directly core BMX. But then I got a lot of questions about the Mongoose Legion, so I did a review about that and kind of figured out, is it actually a good bike, so on and so forth. And I would go add Haro to the list for sure, but I still have to do fit, I still have to do fly. Like there's a handful of other companies that I still need to do reviews for. And so it's just lower down on the list. And soon we have the 2022 bikes coming out, and I just then the list restarts. It's tough, man. It's a lot of reviews, so I have to really pick and choose which ones I feel like are the most beneficial to you guys. And I don't really get a lot of questions about Haro, so I think the people who want to buy a Haro are going to buy a Haro regardless, and the people who don't really know about BMX. They're poisoned. I mean, I guess poisoned is a strong word, but gets a lot of hate essentially as a complete bike company. For aftermarket parts, they're really good, but same with Mongoose. Complete bikes they're just kind of hated on, and so people who see anything about that in the industry are going to kind of shy away from it regardless. And yeah, I feel like the return on the investment of making a Haro review just there. But I'll play with it for sure. I'll add it to the list and, see how it goes. What's up, Sean? I see Sean pop in. Isaac, Beef BMX. Oh, we got everyone in here. Matt. I guess got skipped to the bottom, so let me find my spot. Oh, Chaz. What's up, Chaz? So Chaz says, any tips on 360 fly out? Let me drink some water. Look, I was carrying this into the skate park like this, right? And then I hit a bump in it and it broke, and I was pretty upset. Now, when I drink out of it, it pokes me in the eye. Okay, tips on 360 flyout. That one's kind of tough because let's see. It's hard. It's hard to tell, Chaz, without seeing where you're at on it. Like I could walk you through the whole thing, but there's a lot of different things that you need to. Um, I'd say I think a big problem that people have with 360s fly out is that they carve way too much. And if you're coming at the quarter and you carve too much, you're not going up, you're going to the side. And when you just go to the side, your back wheel catches the top of the coping, and that obviously stops your spin. It sends you out in that direction instead of that direction and up. So it's really hard to actually get the rotation, because if you carve off of something like that, you're essentially going to have to do a 450 to land right. And it's just really hard. So make sure you're not carving. The way to avoid that is when you're popping at the quarter, when you're coming at the quarter, you're riding up, you're popping straight up. Okay. And once your front tire is like literally like, I don't know, a few inches from the top, you are starting to carve. That's when you're doing it. A lot of people start it way at the bottom, and so that they're kind of rotating by the time they come up, but that's way too much. Like you're essentially going straight off the quarter, and that last little bit is when you turn your bars just a little bit and start to throw your shoulder. Another tip that I do, like a lot of people want to learn hop threes in the coaching thing I do, and they are not turning their head. They're hopping and they're literally looking straight. And it's like, look, your head turns your shoulders, which turns your hips, which turns your bike. So having your head turned is a huge thing. And if you're not doing that out of your 360 flyout, Chaz, you're not going to get the rotation. And then I'd say the third thing is if you're not carving too much, if you're turning your head, suck your knees up, because it was like that example I did on the last live. Do you guys remember? Like if I spin in the chair like this, one, I'd knock over a bunch of shit, but two, I'd spin really slowly. And but if I suck up like this, I spin a lot faster. And it's the same thing with the 360. When your arms are out, your legs, like when you take off, that spin's going to come around a lot slower as it would as when you pop up and suck your body up and compress yourself. So try those three things, man. Hopefully it helps. Hopefully you pop in on the next Friday live and say, bro, I did it. I learned 360s. And I'll be like, yeah. Speaking of that, so this coming Sunday is Mother's Day, guys. I'm not going to do the live just because I have to work literally all day. And so we're not going to do a live on Sunday. We will have to do the live the following Friday. Okay. JDA says the 14-inch bikes I've seen in stock in the US are Control. What do you think about Control? I've never heard of Control. I have no idea. Is that a brand? Or like a cult control. I've heard of the cult control, if that's what you're talking about. I think the cult control is half decent, actually. It's like, it's right before the devotion. It's okay. But if the control as a brand, I've never heard of that. I have no idea. Yeah. Okay. We're talking about cult control. Good, good. Yeah. The control is going to be a lot better than the gateway, JDA. Like I said, look, when you go from the control to the cult devotion, you're just literally, instead of having a tri molly frame, you're getting a full chromoly frame. Instead of having one single wall rim, you're getting two double wall rims on the devotion. So it's just like, it's just a little bit better. I'd say the controls very similar to like the Kink Gap, the Sunday. What's the, hold on, the one that has the Brock Rayford colorway. I can't even think of it right now. But anyway, um, uh, anyway, it's not the best, but it's pretty decent for the price. Hold on, this is bugging me. Like it's just gonna pop in my head, and then I'm gonna be like, oh yeah. But like I cannot go on without forecaster, similar to the Sunday forecaster. Jesus Christ. All right. JDA says BMX isn't about what others are doing. Go out, have fun, do what you do, learn new stuff, have fun, compete against yourself, progress the best you can. That's all that matters. Amen. Henry Kieran says, I have a 20-inch top tube. I'm 5'8". It feels small and restricting. What do you think? I think if it's 20.00, man, you're having a very bad time. That's what I think. I think you should be on a 20.75 and maybe a 21 if you're still growing. But Yeah, that's teeny tiny for you, man. I met this guy in El Paso and he had a 20.00 bike and he was literally 6'4" or 6'3". I was like, "Bro, you're that's tough. That's tough." So, top tube size is super important. Once you get into it and you start riding, you're going to notice, Henry, if you get a bigger top tube, it's just going to feel so comfortable. You're going to love it. Yeah, good job, Titus. Good question answer. Um, I love when you guys help out and answer questions. It makes the whole community just like so much better. How many so Sean popped in and said old man alert. Matt put the old man emoji. We got Chase. How many old men do we have in here? That's so funny. You guys are awesome. Blanco says, "What do you think is better, Trey Jones' signature or the Matt Ray signature?" Just based on color, Blanco, I love the Matt Ray signature on the Sabrosa Novus, but the Trey Jones, like they're both really, really good bikes in terms of quality. The big difference there is the specs and like, yeah, basically the specs of everything. And yeah, I like the way the Matt Ray looks better, but you'd have to look at what you want to get out of the bike to figure out which one's better for you. Does that make sense? Yosef says, "Is the Sabrosa Letum better in street than the Fiend Type R?" No. Reason for that is that the Type R is one a more expensive bike, and with that comes a lot better aftermarket parts. I mean, Fiend, I'd say it's going to be more expensive for the quality that you're getting, just because they're a little smaller scale. But the Type R is an incredible bike, and it's definitely better than the Nova or than the Letum, but it's also in a different price bracket. So, you know, you get what you pay for. Yeah. Jake, you should be on the podcast with Barrick and I and throw out these opinions. Um, I think Daniel Sandoval is for sure a good rider, but his tricks are boring. He just does the same park tricks with no flow and variety. Dude, I love Sandoval's tricks. I think he's crazy good, but that was a good thing. We debated on the podcast is that, some people felt like Daniel Sandoval was ripped off, me. But then some people like Barrick felt like Chase Hawk deserved to win the X Games because he had so much better flow and Daniel's tricks were just repetitive. Dude, it's hard to say. I just at the time I don't know that I loved Chase Hawk's riding per se, but now, dude, Corey Walsh is one of my idols because of how incredible he is at keeping speed, blasting stuff, and like the older I get, and like start to hate triple tail whips more, the more I love going high and going fast. So Barrick was definitely older than me when we argued about that. And so I don't know. Isaac is late, but it's okay. Isaac, you're here now. It's all good. Titus says, any tips on 180s, Doug? Hop 180 Titus, you're gonna want to. I'll just walk you through it, okay? With our Jeff signature series, um, finger bike. Okay. Finger bike. Boom. You're going to want to go in a straight line. Okay. Go and then find a crack. And that's where you want to do the hop at. I'm trying to find something I could lay down, but oh well. That's going to be your reference point. Okay. So you're going to roll at it. And like about a foot beforehand, you're going to turn your bars the way that you want to spin just a little bit. Turn it so that you start to turn that way. You see what I'm doing here? Okay. And once your front tire hits that reference point, you've already created some momentum in the spin by turning your bars and compressing your body. Okay, turn, compress. Once it hits, you're going to expand your body just like a bunny hop. You're going to throw your chest up, your bike's going to pop up, and then whoop. Okay, so you're rotating like that. Pop, and then once you start the spin, turn your head. That's what I was talking about with 360s, man. You want your head to be looking behind you. And that way you can just, like I said, your head turns, which makes your shoulders turn, which makes your hips turn, which makes your bike turn. And then you're popping, turning your head, but you want to level out because if you just 180 like this, like that's not fun, right? Yeah, and so then once you get that rotation, level out and then set your bike back down. 180s are super simple. You've just got to get through the mental block essentially of popping up and not just like doing a massive carve. I see a lot of people just almost curve damn near 90 degrees and then try and pop, and it's not going to work that way. You want a quick snap carve because that is what's initiating the momentum. And if you just do a long, slow carve, there's no momentum with it when you pop. So it's just like a quick turn the bars, compress your body, and get it going that way because then the pop spins you around and then turning your head, obviously. But yeah, make sure you're not carving too much. Black ordered the We the People hybrid hub a month ago. It's going to arrive in 2 weeks, but his ankle is destroyed and he's not going to get to use it. Black, do you know how to lace wheels? That would be a fun project for you, is to lace your wheel while you're hurt and how to do that. Hey, Sean, I was on Brant's live yesterday. I was listening to Flip. Flip was the guy in the podcast Barrick and I were talking about that my friend knows. And dude, he's a cool guy. But moral of the story, you said something about Dorel, right? That's is that a Taiwan manufacturer? Because I've seen them on, I can't remember where it was, but are they making 90% of BMX bikes right now? Is that the Taiwan manufacturer doing it? Because I saw you mention that and I was curious because I have no idea. I know everything's made obviously in Taiwan for the most part, but I don't know which company actually does it. And I feel like there's only a small handful actually doing BMX. Everyone else is focusing on different types of like metalworking and stuff. What's up, Lucas? Lucas is a little late, but that's okay. That's okay. Tyler says, "Where the hell can I find a decent BMX bike online right now? My city has no nice bikes." I don't know, guys. Leave in the comment where Tyler can find a bike. Dude, anywhere that I look, they're out of stock for the most part. I know at one point the Secret had some Sundays in stock, and I think they still do. Oh, I'm burping. Like the Street Sweeper and just some different Sunday bikes. So check the Secret BMX shop. I'm not sure though about anyone else. I think I saw Dan's had a few Sundays, and that's all I can think of. But dude, Cult is almost impossible to find. Kink impossible. So dude, you just have to keep looking. But Tyler, I urge you, man, before you buy from anyone, just Google if it's legit because there's a lot of like scammy sites popping up. Okay. All right. Beef BMX says, would you say a 540 is the same head turn thing? I usually get lost in the air when I try to 540 unless it's on a quarter pipe. Um, dude, I'm like a bad person to ask on this, honestly, because I can, out of like a steep bank, I can five really consistently, but out of a quarter, I can't figure it out. I mean, I can't. So it comes and goes, right? And the reason is when I do it out of a quarter, I just like I spin my body to 360 and then I try and let my body untwist and bring the bike all the way around, but then it never really works out. Out of a bank, that snap just keeps carrying, but the pop out of the quarter like throws me way off. And yeah, so I think the head turn needs to be a little less aggressive on the 540 and more so like a controlled 3, but you want to hit the 360 at your peak instead of at your when you're landing. So when you 360 at your peak, you have that extra time to snap your body one more 180 and get it the rest of the way around. But I'm inconsistent with fly out 5, so I don't know. Oh, good. Titus says, I'd say J&R. You could get a Sabrosa Salvador, which is nice, but not the best. Okay. I've never heard of J&R, so that's good. Um, what's up? I Stifflock. Is that how you say that? Dude, this guy was in the comments on the bike comparisons. He got a Mongoose Legion, and yeah, dude, how is it? Okay, let me read your comment. I just recognized you in your profile picture. Bro, I finally got my L500. Any recommendations on parts to change on the bike? I'm a beginner, but I want the best possible platform to start on. I'm dead serious about BMX. Okay. So I go on this rant a good amount. I wouldn't change anything right off the bat. Okay. You've got the Legion, you're set. What I want you to do now is get on the bike and start practicing your bunny hops, get really good at that. Start working on spins, fakies, manuals, all those kind of fundamental things, and just see how it feels. Start progressing in that direction and see how you like it. If you want to start grinding, get pegs. If you want to do, I think the Legion has a free coaster, right? Either way, if you don't like the hub that's on it, get a different one, get a cassette, or if you don't like whatever, you know what I mean. But right off the bat, I wouldn't start changing anything until things start to break or it gets closer to it. Because what happens a lot is that you're gonna say, "Oh, cool, I'm gonna buy new bars." You spend your money on bars, and then your forks break, and you're like, "Oh, I don't have any money to buy forks. I should have waited." And dude, that happens way too often with me. So I'm like, you know what? I'm never gonna buy anything unless I either buy a whole bunch in one go. So I just buy, forks, bars, cranks, everything like in one whammy, or I wait till it breaks and then I buy it. That's just kind of a superstition for me. But like I said, it's not super important to change anything right away. It's best just get on the bike, start riding. And then when you want to adapt your style or something like that, like you want taller bars, get taller bars, things like that. But right off the bat, just get comfortable and get those foundation skills built. Yeah, Matt says Dan's has some Colony. I've seen a lot of Colony popping up, and Colony's solid, guys. I get asked about Colony, and that's what I'm riding a Colony frame right now. Love it to death. It's a great brand, great bike. So, but I don't have any reviews on it, so you guys are gonna have to make a wild gamble when you buy a Colony. Sean says, I just got back from riding my S&M. I jumped a curb because I'm a blood drinking poser senior citizen. Doo, doo. Okay, I just got skipped to the bottom. Here we go. I found the questions again. Yeah, okay. Matt, you knew what I was talking about with the Sunday forecaster. I'm glad you had my back, man, because I drew a blank. Okay, right. Oh, yeah. I just pinned the guy's comment. I don't want to butcher his name. I don't know how to say it, man. But he says, "Hi Doug, I'm 5'6". Do you think the 21-inch bike will be okay for my first bike? We the People Crisis 2019." Um, Actually, I'm gonna say no. Now, now, keep in mind, if this is the only bike you can find in stock and like you just really want a bike, it's gonna be fine. But if you want to be really picky about it, um, it's really hard to. So look, a bigger top tube. So you're 5'6". You should be on a 20.5, maybe a 20.75, but a 21 is going to be really big. It's going to be on the bigger end for you. And what happens when you ride a bigger bike is it's really hard to control. It's just like it's a tank essentially. Think about driving a tank versus driving a even compared to driving a minivan, right? So all right. For your size, a 20.5 is a car. Okay. 20.75 is a minivan. A 21 is a tank. And the way you can control each one gets progressively harder the bigger it gets. So For you to jump on the tank, it's going to be fine for riding, but when you actually want to learn tricks, like you've got this bulky geometry bike that's just really hard for you to maneuver and control. And and that's okay if you've been riding for a few years. Like if I jumped on a 20 point or 21.25 or 21.5, I could adapt to it pretty easily because I've been riding forever. But for someone who's just getting their first bike, it's really discouraging to get on a bigger bike that's really hard to control. It's going to make you think that you suck. It's going to make you hate the sport, things like that. Um, it's not going to be the end of the world, but it is going to be noticeably harder than if you would have got something like a 20.5 or a 20.75. It's a great bike, but I think it's a little bit too big for you. Try and find something 20.5, 20.75. All right. Jake says, "Do you drink pre-workout or anything? Like, do you take supplements?" Jake, I drink a bang every morning, and that's it. I get my 300 milligrams of caffeine right at 4 or 5 a.m. when I wake up, and then I'm set until 12 hours later when I need a nap. But that's really all I do. I take protein after the gym and glutamine before I go to bed. Glutamine's supposed to help with muscle recovery. I don't know if it works or not, but I take it like I just drink some before I go to bed, and that's it. I don't go too crazy on supplements or anything or pre-workout. I've never taken straight pre-workout. I mean, the Bang I think is practically pre-workout, but yeah, one day. Supplements are expensive, and that's the main reason I don't take a lot of it is like just the protein and the glutamine is like 40, $50 a month. And to me, it's like almost not worth it. Oh, JDA says you're looking for the 14-inch because for your kid. I think genuinely, this is what I think. Anything like even 18 really are kids that size, riding at the level where they'd actually break like the aluminum parts or anything like that. So for a 14-inch, essentially whatever you can find would be solid. The 18-inch, you can get like the Supernova, which is incredible quality, but that's really only for those riders who have been riding 18-inch for like years and are doing flips and whips and everything like that. So any bike smaller than that, though, even most 18 inches, the riders on it are so light that they're not going to stress the material and it's not going to be a big deal. Um, yeah, I don't think the brand would really matter that much. I could be wrong because like I said, I don't pay too much attention to anything under 20 inch, but that's just like kind of my blind assumption is that most of those bikes are the same quality regardless, and you're going to be fine with whatever 14-inch you end up with. Emilio says, "Yo, where's the best place I can get good handlebars?" I Wherever you can find them in stock, man. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, I think Source has bars in stock, Dan's has bars in stock, Albies. Dude, almost any company has bars in stock. The shortage on bikes I was hearing is my friend Matt was talking about the pivotal seat patent, and then Brant on his live yesterday, and so that's essentially a bottleneck. And I don't know why brands are so dead set on producing completes with pivotals. I feel like most people would be fine uh, just getting a bike in these times and then being able to upgrade to a pivotal later on. I feel like, oh well, I don't know. But anyway, my point of my story with that is that the most bars are in stock, right? You're going to be able to find bars pretty much anywhere. Jake, so Sean says Walsh is indeed a god of war, and Jake says Corey Walsh is my ultimate favorite rider, and that's my idol. I try to reflect it in my riding with style and flow. Jake, you've genuinely that video you posted in bike school with the table and everything. You have good style, and it's like it's night and day difference from when you were in my cabin at Woodward in 2019. You've progressed a lot with the dude. Corey Walsh would be proud. Beef BMX says, I used to take creatine and protein supplements, but I just try my best to get protein naturally. I think that's about it. Guys in jail get buff with no supplements. Beef, have you watched Cali Muscle? Somehow I ended up on his YouTube forever ago, and he's like showing me how to make protein ramen in jail, and I'm like, that's good to know. That's really good to know. It's like you break these ramen packets, you put it was like uh so ramen, okay, no packets because that's a lot of sodium. You put the ramen in, you put a can of tuna in, you put mayonnaise, you put mustard. I think he even put honey in there. And then he was good to go. I was like, if I ever go to jail, I will remember that. Okay, so Pacific Cycle, not Dorel. Hold on. Interesting. Okay, good. Good to know. Good to know. Rado says, Doug, can you change unsealed to sealed bearings on Bethley Flip 2020? Um, I think no, probably not. Depends what you're talking about, right? It's generally it's more work than it's worth. And a lot of times, like if it's a bottom bracket that's an unsealed bottom bracket, it's a different size than the American bottom brackets that you would use that are sealed and everything like that. Like it's just a big headache, Rado. That's why it's pretty most bikes come sealed complete. And if they're not sealed, it's just the front wheel, which is really cheap to replace anyway. Max says is 29 pounds okay to start on? Yeah, Max. And you got to keep in mind, like a lot of that weight is I mean, I guess that's with the brakes and pegs if it comes with pegs. It's yeah, that's kind of heavy. And again, so for my rant about the 21-inch top tube being like a tank, it's the same context in terms of weight, but it's really important to balance the weight with the strength. But when you're just starting out, 29 pounds is like driving a tank, and 25 pounds is like driving a car. So the lighter you can get, the easier it's going to be to progress. But it's like sometimes you just get and then upgrade it later to make it lighter. Oh, that's why Dorel sounded so. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, Sean. We were talking, God, because the reason I don't know, this is a long rant. I'm not even going to get into it. But yeah, L'Oreal's a huge it's like a multi-billion dollar company. And Mongoose, like the way we look at it, we're like Mongoose is huge, but it's just a tiny sliver of that company. So they that's crazy. Hold on, I got skipped down. We're just trying to find some good questions here. Yo, what's up, Blake? How you doing, man? You able to ride the bike or you riding the scooter now? Walter says, "Hey man, how are you? I'm trying to come back into BMX. I'm 33 years old. I'm 6 foot tall. I have these options: We the People Envy, Trust Cassette, and Battleship. Please, I need a serious opinion about it." Um, Walter, if you're still here, the 20 so I see your question down there. The Battleship is going to be fine. For for you at 6 foot, 20.75 is going to be good. 21 would also be okay. So here's the thing though. What do you want to ride? Like, are you a street guy? Are you a dirt guy? Are you a park guy? What do you enjoy most? And then it's a lot easier to go from there. I think the Envy's the best all-around bike you can get. It comes in a 21-inch top 8.5, so that's solid. The Battleship is good. It's a little more for a responsive street than the Envy. And then the Trust is obviously really park specific. So if you're not sure, go with the Envy. If you like street, go with the Battleship. And if you like park, go with the Trust. That's what I'd say. Skilo says, "Is Kink Whip 2021 better than 2020, and what's the difference?" The biggest thing, like I'm not 1,000% sure, but I'm 90% sure that the biggest difference there is just the colorway. Essentially, the 2020 Kink Whip and the 2021 Kink Whip, in terms of quality, they're the same. And the cool thing is, generally the 2020 models are on sale, so you can get with the Kink Whip. Oh no, the connection's unstable. All right, it says the connection's better. Yo, we are at 1 hour, guys. I'm gonna pop through some of these good guys. There's so many good questions. I love this one. Last Sunday, the live was really boring, so I'm I'm glad that this live is pretty fun. Um, yeah, so I'm gonna pop around, find some questions, guys. If you have any last minute questions, throw them in. But I need to go. Oh, I need to go to work and do a couple things real quick. So anyway, we're gonna pop through some questions. Um, Stifflock, you're gonna be fine on the mongoose. Like, for if you got it for 500, that's an incredible deal. 589 is pushing it. That's pretty expensive for the quality you're getting, but I was actually impressed with the quality of the Legion, so you're gonna be fine. JDA, dude, I was like, bro, I've never heard of Control. Yeah, Colony's a really good brand. I like I said before, I ride Colony. It's great. They hold up, Colony's fine. You're gonna like it. Aiden XB121 popped in. He said, I got the 2021 Stranger Crux. What's up, Aiden? How do you like the Stranger Crux? Alex says, is the Courage Adams Savannah frame good? Yeah, it's good. Flies good. The frame's good. Like, everything's good about it. Timmer says, "What first We the People bike do you recommend?" Timmer, it really depends on your skill level and how much you're willing to spend. Generally the most expensive bike is best if you plan to stick with BMX for a long time. If you only plan to ride for like a year, then you're going to get a car and a girlfriend and a job and all that stuff and quit BMX. Then you probably don't want to spend a lot of money and you just want to get a cheap bike to cruise around on, then you're going to be fine. Somebody threw money at me. What do we got here? Jake. Thanks, Jake. Jake, thank you. 50 bucks. Guys, I can go buy 50 $1 scratch offs. Though I won't do that. I won't do that. But thank you, Jake. I appreciate you. Jake is probably my biggest supporter. Jake joined bike school. Jake always tips on the lives. Sean and Jeff throw money at me too. Just being guys, just being here, hanging out, and like having the people count in here over 20 is more than enough. So always stresses me out when I get money because then I'm like, I feel like I have to do something, but I'm already doing it. So oh well. Sean, have a great day at work. Thanks for popping in, man. And I don't know, man. Is there any last minute questions? I'm trying to see, but I don't really see anything. Chase says, "Do I have good style, Doug?" Chase, I love you. Come ride bikes with us. Chase, you didn't even reply about Barrick and I talking to Chris Doyle. I thought you'd be hyped on that, and then you didn't. You ghosted me, Chase. So I'm sad. Kimi, what do you think about the total Kilobi? It's a complete full chromo bike under 400 and double wall rims. I don't believe that. No way. Now, just the frame, like I had that frame. It's actually really good. But complete bike, there's almost no way that it's that price. Um, the rim double wall though, so that's cool. But yeah, the frame's not high, not full chromoly. The forks, that is a rip off. Jesus Christ. It's on source for 550. Wow. 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 Yeah. No, dude, that's run away. For 400, I think that's an okay price. Like that's comparable to what you're gonna get. But for 550, like it was on Source, that's way, 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 way too much. Oh yeah, JDA says the Killer Bee's high tensile steel. Anders says, would it be more profitable for companies to make parts that never break so that people buy it more? Anders, the podcast that's coming out on Tuesday, we talked a lot about that, because I feel like that's what Odyssey does. Like their parts almost never break, and they're expensive, but they offer a warranty if they do break. And it's I don't know, dude. I don't know how they do it, honestly. Tixo says, hi, no question. My sprocket has bent 90 yesterday after a 360. Jake says, what do you think I should put my most focus on currently, Doug? I have trouble sticking to focus on one trick. Um, I think, Jake, I think it should be bars just because whip takes a lot more of like fundamental body awareness, I guess is the right word for it. And then, yeah, focus on bars. But here's a secret tip I'm going to give you, Jake, and I guess everyone that's on here. Um, try this next time. Okay. When if you just drop in and try a bar and you don't land it, like you're snapping yourself out of your flow state. Okay. So try this instead. Drop in a little bit before wherever you're going to try a bar. Do a table, do a knack, do a 360, do something before that's pretty easy, or do two or three, whoops, or do two or three different tricks. Like get it get yourself in a rhythm where you're confident, where it feels good, where you're landing tricks. Okay. And this puts you in a flow state where you are confident, your body's like taking over. And so by doing that, then throwing the bar at the end of the line, this is gonna blow you away, but it helps so much. For me, that's what I do before I try tricks. Um, like instead of just dropping in and trying, say, a 3 bar to tuck, if I drop in a little bit farther back and I hop out of the bowl, I do a tuck, I do a bar out of the fly out, and then drop in and do it. I'm already in the zone from those two other tricks that are relatively easy for me, that naturally it takes off and works out for the other one. So try that. But to do the bars should be the focus for you. And then once you get the bars, you can move on to something else. So Kimi, the Killaby aftermarket frame is full chromoly for sure. Like it's really, really high quality chromoly, but the complete bike is a high tensile steel frame. It's not going to be full chromoly. Um, and look, like that should be a big red flag, right? If the hold on, let's Killaby frame. So just the frame is $400. Just the complete bike is $400. There's no way that they would use their aftermarket frame on that complete bike and put on the bars, the grips, the stem, the headset, the bottom bracket, the cranks, the pedals, the seat post, the wheels, the tires, the chain, like all that stuff on for free. You know what I mean? Like there's no way that they could, yeah, no way. Wait, Quentin. Quentin says, Quentin, I almost missed your question, man. I need help talking to a girl in my class. And then Black says, risk it. If she's not interested, the boys got your back. So, funny story with Barrick. Like I told you guys for this upcoming podcast, he reached out to like Edwin De La Rosa, Dylan Stark, Anthony Napolitan, like all these pros, and they all replied. And he's like, he was all, I just shoot my shot with the pros and I get better luck than I do with girls. It was hilarious. But moral of the story, Quentin, you just got to shoot your shot. Sight says, do you think an aftermarket frame will make my bike lighter? Absolutely. I think that they are your aftermarket frames weigh like anywhere from 4 to 5 pounds. The complete bike frames are just big chunks of metal that you'll save a good amount of weight for sure. Skilo says the whip has a cassette hub. Is that a problem for a newbie? No, dude. I think cassette is definitely better to start out on because it helps you get some better skills. Stifflock says I would support, but I can't super chat from Jamaica. That's okay, man. Just keep hanging out and commenting and sharing the videos. It's all good. Yiko says, "Yo, what's up, Yiko? Hey, man. I know it's the end of the live, but I want to let you know that Time to Shine said the Sabrosa haven't sent the bikes, but it will soon, and they will send me the tracking number." Okay, Yiko, hold on. Update me. Hold on. I'm gonna drink water, but Yiko, update me what happened, right? So you bought the bike, you reached out, they said, "Yeah, we're gonna ship it in a week." And then a week later they said, "Well, they haven't sent us the bikes, but we'll update." Dude, that sounds super sketchy. But tell me the whole story again. Potato, Potato Watson. Is the Jet BMX youth bike good because I need a new bike and that's what I'm looking into? Um, I don't really like Jet as a brand, though I genuinely know nothing about them, but I think they're kind of on the same level as Mafia and Elite and all those other bike companies that they're just cheap, mass produced complete bikes owned by one person who's essentially not sponsoring riders, not putting on events, not doing anything for the BMX economy. They just sell bikes, they profit the money, and that's it. Whereas if you buy a bike from Kink, that goes into paying riders, that goes into great videos like Champagne, that, things like that. So it's probably a fine bike for a first bike, but I don't think it's, yeah, no. Anders says, "Can I replace parts on the kink gap if they break?" Absolutely, man. Everything on the gap is fully replaceable, and yeah. All right, I'm just waiting to see if Yiko updates me on what's going on because I'm really curious. But Isaac had to go. We'll see you later, Isaac. Thanks for popping in. Appreciate you. Short Kid said, "How do you 180?" I'm trying to get a 180 and fakie down. Any tips? Short Kid. So I went over it earlier in the live actually already. So what you're gonna have to do is you're gonna have to rewatch the whole live and find the part where I go over the 180. Just because it's a long explanation and I'm getting ready to pop off the live. I gotta go. It's hour 13. But yeah, just rewatch it, man, and I give you some really good tips on the 180. Yeah, yeah. Stifflock says it's sketchy, scary. I think, dude, look, if you go back again, guys, and look at the Time to Shine reviews, there's a lot of stories of the same thing happening where they'll sell the bike and then they'll say, "Well, we don't have it," or like, or no tracking number or whatever. Like, it's cool, Yiko, that they're actually talking to you, and if you trust them, then I mean, go for it. But here's the problem with that is that they've got your money tied up. So if a Sabrosa does come available from a different website, you are unable to buy it, right? You're at Time to Shine's mercy where they can just hold on to that money until they potentially have a bike. And I don't like that, dude. Richard says, "Hi. Do you think is good to start BMX at 27? I never ride before, but I don't want to kill myself." Richard, I can tell you right now, out of the 19 people in here, there are probably 4 or 5 of them who are over 30 and or close to it. So, dude, it's never too late to start. I have a friend who's in his 50s, still doing tail whips and 360s and stuff. It's like, You can start anytime. It's going to be harder to learn being a little older, but you're going to have fun. That's all that matters, right? Dominic says, I bought the Sunday Soundwave 21-inch before I learned about geometry. I'm 5'7", kind of feel like it might be too long. Yeah, it's a little bit too long. It's that same tank analogy, man. Are you still growing, Dominic, or not? If you're not still growing, one thing that's really cool is that later on, like the Soundwave is such an incredible bike. You can replace just the frame with a smaller frame, still have an amazing bike, and then you can sell the 21-inch Soundwave frame for a few $100s. And dude, you'd be good to go. So it's not the world, and it is going to be a little big for you, but like I said, it's not the end of the world. Yeah, JDA is 41. He's just starting. Um, Jake, you got to give that guy some advice about kissing a girl. I know you're a wizard at it. Jake pulls up in his Tesla and just loads it up with women. I don't know how he does it. Yeah, Yiko, I hope you can just, I hope they actually ship the bike out. I feel like, I don't know, call Sabrosa, right? This would be a good idea. Call Sabrosa and say, "Hey, I bought a Sabrosa from Time to Shine. They said they had it in stock. Then they said they didn't have it in stock and that it would take a week. Then I read some sketchy reviews about them scamming people. Then I reached out to them. They said it'll take another week. And then I reached out to them and they said, well, they still don't have it. Can you just tell me if they're even a supplier through you? Like, what if Sabrosa says, dude, we don't have any dealers named Time to Shine? Then you're like, oh, yikes, they are pulling my leg. But maybe they are, and maybe Sabrosa says, yeah, no, like we have these bikes, we're just getting them packaged up to send out to them next week. So do that. Genuinely do that and let me know next live what's going on. Um, Kristen says, how's it going, Doug? Were you able to grab the BSD Revolution hub? I was not. I have a friend in Montana. He's like, do you want me to send you my Revolution hub? So, or no, he has the free night. The free night, so you can like do a review on it and then send it back. But it's just so much to send the hub back and forth that one day I'll get it. Um, it's not high. Barrett gave me a Odyssey clutch free coaster, and we're gonna lace it up to another wheel. So I'll be free coasting for a little bit until I get bored of it, and that's kind of exciting, actually. I need to go find spokes. All right, Dominic is done growing. Dude, I think you should go for a 20.75. You're 5'7". Yeah, I think that's a little bit on the taller end, but it would be oh, here, hold on. I'll just send you this. That's weird. Dan's Comp is sponsoring their BMX rider sizing chart as a sponsored search. That's interesting. But mine's number 2. Here, I'm gonna send you mine and not Dan's comps. Here we go. Here we go. Oh, check out this size guide, man. Just click on how tall you are, and it tells you essentially the 3 different sizes, like the perfect size for you, the size if you want something really responsive, and the size if you want something really tall. Um, yeah, I can't remember if you said 5'7" or 5'8", but yeah, okay, cool. Jake Jake said he tried to donate $50 again and it said payment declined. Aw. That's okay, Jake. That's okay. Save that money. Carter says, I'm 5'3" and an intermediate rider. What do you think about the kink switch? Carter, I think this is going to be the last question, but short kid, have fun at the skate park. I love the Kink Switch. It's one of my favorite bikes, but it's a 20.75-inch top tube. You are only 5'3". You should be on like a 20.25 or a 20.5. You can get the Kink Whip in a 20.5, but it's not going to have that free coaster or the four pegs like the Switch does. So, I mean, if you really, really, really want the Switch, go for it, but it's going to be a little bit big for you. All right, guys, that is, I'm gonna peace out here. Jake, thank you so much for the money. Guys, any little bit of support, even just watching the channel, helps me out so much. I do a twice a year I do like a report for Dougsterbob, like everything I'm working on and how it's going. And I got to the section, I did it August of 2020, and I was writing about, I said, YouTube's going to be my new thing. Like I've started working on it. I've got 600 subscribers and 6,000 video views in the last month. And so that's what I wrote in August. And it was so like just crazy to me to look back at it in May, right? Look back at August last year and say I have 4,600 subscribers and 50,000 video views in the last month. Just that little bit that it's grown in that little amount of time is because of you guys, and I appreciate every single one of you. On that note, I'm gonna go take care of some things for work, and yeah, have a good rest of your Friday, guys. We're gonna ride all day Saturday, so you guys will get some clips. Make sure you share your clips with me. And yeah, peace. Thanks, guys.